The movie begins in a remote mountain area in Texas, where an archaeology professor named Hopper, with his dog named Boss, searches for the hippies who had gone missing in the 1970s. The hippies are said to have ventured into the caves, hoping to find the Fountain of Youth, but never came back. He stumbles upon a worn-out van, but finds no sign of the hippies. In a keyhole, he sees a cowboy holding a lamp, standing still near the entrance. Using a flashlight, he inches closer for a clearer view and sees that the cowboy is holding a gun. He immediately runs back to his car and drives back to town. On his way, he calls one of his teaching assistants named Jackie and tells her about his discovery. He then asks her to prepare a climbing pack for both of them. But he makes it clear not to tell Taylor, his other assistant, about it. When Hopper arrives, he is upset to see Jackie together with Taylor and announces he'll be going alone instead. The next day, Hopper returns to the cave and finds the cowboy still frozen in place. He walks further into the cave but encounters a strange wall of mist. Fascinated, Hopper decides to step through it. 2 days later, Taylor tells Jackie they should hike to find Hopper, who hasn't returned yet. Jackie refuses and suggests they call Kara, who has a fat crush on Taylor, to borrow Kara's father's Jeep. Taylor offers to let Vives, Kara's half-sister, tag along. Vives is doing a school project, and Taylor promises to help Vives get an A, to which Kara eventually agrees. Inside the car, Taylor explains the expedition. Suddenly, Vives remembers her friend, Furby, and insists they let him tag along. Despite Jackie's disapproval, the group still agrees. On their way, Furby distributes action cameras so they can record everything during their adventure. They soon arrive at the place where Hopper found the hippies' van. Inside the van, Taylor finds an old photograph of a family with a note at the back saying, "The Hoppers, May 1970. That's when they learn that the hippies are actually Hopper's missing family. Furby then trips on something and discovers a rope leading to a cliff inside a cave, but it was severed at the top. The rope appears old, which means the cliff was not where Hopper descended. The group decides to rappel down the cliff, leaving Furby as their lookout. Taylor leaves him a radio for communication. Vives and Jackie descend first. Kara and Taylor follow. Kara notices the same strange wall of mist Hopper encountered 2 days ago. In a flashback, Hopper follows the cowboy, who immediately moves the moment he steps beyond the mist. He suddenly hears bizarre sounds, and a light appears to be flashing outside. In fear, he rushes out of the cave. It was already nighttime. The whole place is covered in vines from overgrown plants. It appears that so much time has passed, though he was inside the cave for only a few minutes. He sees another car parked in the distance and finds Jackie's backpack. He frantically calls out her name, then decides to go back into the cave to find her and Taylor, leaving a trail using LED sticks. Meanwhile, Taylor, Kara, Jackie, and Vives arrive at the bottom of the cliff where they hear strange noises. Jackie immediately climbs back, but the rope snaps midway, causing her to fall over Taylor, breaking her foot and Taylor's hand in the process. Taylor starts blaming Furby, thinking he was the one behind it, so he radios him, demanding him to stop. However, he receives no response from Furby. As they argue about how they can find a way back, they hear a loud thud and a radio chime. Taylor initially thinks it was Hopper, but the person on the other line says he is Furby. His voice sounds in pain. Taylor, Kara, and Vives go to the other side to investigate, leaving the injured Jackie behind. Moments later, they found a keyhole where they could see a mysterious light flashing incredibly fast from outside. Kara climbs above the boulder and is appalled to see Furby's lifeless body on the other side of the rock. The others soon learn about his death. Taylor notices a rope beside Furby and deduces that Furby has fallen to his demise due to the rope being cut down. Taylor then finds that Furby's camera is still rolling, so they decide to watch the footage. In the footage, Furby begins looking for them 30 minutes into their descent. He soon encounters another keyhole in Hopper's Jeep, where he found Hopper's dad's journal that tells the legend of the Fountain of Youth. According to the legend, the Queen of Spain sent out several expeditions to find this miraculous fountain to save her dying husband, but none of them managed to return, and the last expedition was sent to Texas. The footage then shifts to midnight, and Furby learns that Hopper's parents began searching for the Fountain of Youth when his sister had fallen ill. When the group hadn't returned the next morning, Furby starts rappelling down the keyhole to find them, but is shocked to see the lights quickly flash before his eyes until the rope snaps, and he fell to his death. The group stops watching the footage and begins to argue, trying to figure out what's happening until they decide that Kara free climbs the keyhole to check. Taylor gives her a GPS beacon that can send an SOS from anywhere in the world. Vives then gives her a camera. Kara reaches the surface in no time, but what she sees makes her a lot more confused. There are no plants, nor trees, or any other living creatures. Only rock formations cover the entirety of the planet. The air is so different that she finds herself struggling to breathe. A huge brewing storm can also be seen in the distance. She tries activating the beacon several times to no avail. In her last attempt, she climbs a rock, but when she looks up, she sees a triangular spaceship hovering above. She hurries back down and tells them what she saw, but the group refuses to believe her until they see the footage from her camera. Taylor then hands over his camera to compare them, and they see the difference between time frames inside the cave and the surface. That's when Taylor realizes that the flashing light they see through the keyhole is actually the sun setting on the horizon. He also deduces that there was no one cutting the rope, but instead, the ropes got severed by friction due to the time passing by quickly. They might have been inside the cave for who knows how long, maybe days, weeks, or months. Taylor then notices that Furby fell on his side, but they find him face down. His radio is smashed, though he managed to contact them earlier. They watch Furby's footage again and discovered that he is indeed alive and was asking for help. However, what they see next is truly disturbing. Furby was whacked to death by a caveman. Kara begins climbing again, while Vives notices from Furby's footage that it was not only the sun flashing outside, it was an entire season. Halfway, a glowing object falls from the sky and creates a ladder that extends to the surface. She hurriedly climbs the ladder but encounters a tall humanoid. Kara rushes down as the humanoid climbs down after her. When the humanoid reaches the surface of the cave, a caveman attacks him but is subdued with a high-tech collar. The group flees until they come upon a lifeless woman, whom Jackie recognizes from the old photos as Hopper's mother. A few feet away from her body is Hopper's father, who has passed as well. Then, they see a group of cavemen surrounding the dead body of the cowboy Hopper saw at the entrance. Eventually, the cavemen sense their presence. Taylor fights the cavemen while the girls flee, but is greatly outnumbered. He faces his demise not long after. The humanoid arrives, but instead of attacking her, it goes directly to a pool of liquid nearby and scoops water with a vial. Before leaving, the humanoid drags Taylor toward the pool. Kara frantically tries to stop the humanoid, but she is easily overpowered. The cavemen return and attack the humanoid just as Taylor miraculously comes back to life. The fight between the humanoid and the cavemen continues until the cavemen remove the humanoid's helmet, causing him to struggle for breath. With Kara's help, the humanoid subdues the cavemen, and in his dying breaths, he shows them a hologram of the events that transpired while they were gone. It turns out that they've been inside the cave for thousands of years, which explains the bizarre landscape on the surface. Humans have also started living in space as Earth was deemed uninhabitable. The group is torn between going to the surface or staying inside the cave forever. Moments later, Taylor finds Hopper's backpack and decides to look for him while he tells the others to get Furby's body. He grabs the cowboy's pistol and makes his way along the tunnel. Following Hopper's trail, he encounters a young cave girl nursing the wounded cavemen to health. He walks past them and sees Hopper severely injured on the ground. Next to Hopper is another time wall, but one on a much slower time frame. Beyond the wall is an army of Spaniards fighting the cavemen over the Fountain of Youth. Hopper then tells Taylor that the young girl inside the time wall is his little sister. Just then, Jackie calls for Taylor to help them with Furby's body. Instead of coming with him, Hopper insists on staying to buy them some time from the cavemen who just recovered from their injuries. He grabs the pistol from Taylor and orders him to go back while he shoots at the cavemen. Taylor helps Kara put Furby's body into the pool. When the group hears the gunshots, they immediately flee using the humanoid's ladder, with the cavemen in pursuit. Kara climbs first and the others follow, but the cavemen catch up. Instead of the keyhole, Kara finds a water portal at the top and is suddenly pulled by alien-looking hands. Taylor tries to pull her back, but the caveman deactivates the ladder, causing everyone to fall as Kara is pulled into the portal. The alien then gives her oxygen to breathe. Taylor, Jackie, and Vives appear frozen in time until high-tech ropes latch onto them, preventing them from falling. Kara emerges from the portal, dressed in a futuristic suit. So much time has passed on the surface, despite it being seconds inside the cave. She then pulls everyone into the portal, and 4 more ropes emerge, passing through the tunnels. Later, Furby and Hopper come back to life. They are in another pool inside a room. Beside them are Hopper's parents, who, just like them, were resurrected by the miraculous water. Taylor, Kara, Jackie, and Vives enter the room with Hopper's sister, who approaches her parents. Jackie hints they're inside a space station. Confused about what's happening, Hopper asks about the place. Taylor responds that they will talk about it soon. The scene then shifts into space, where the station can be seen hovering above the Earth. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and click here for another movie recap video.